Hi everybody, I'm Rebecca Keppel. I'm here for Jillibean Soup today, and I wanted to show you how quick and easy it is to make this really fun shaker card using some of their new products. So this is a stamp and die set. It's called Superstar and I love it. It's got the little retro TV with the antenna. You get so many dies and stamps in this one set, and it can be used for a lot of different cards. You could even use these on layouts. They're so much fun. So the great thing about these dies is they're just kind of stuck to the backing paper there. You just peel them off and they match up perfectly with the clear acrylic stamps that are included inside. So you can see you get this little banner that would be great for some of the sentiments. You get the super die to cut out the little super sentiment. You get some stars. There are also some stamp stars, so some of those match up. And then you also get this star die, which cuts out the letters in kind of a block format. So you can write Superstar on your card. This die here with the TV, those are not meant to be cut apart. Those are meant to stay together, and you cut out the screen and the outside border of the TV at the same time. So here is the stamp that we're going to be using, that little TV stamp, and I'm going to show you. I'm using two different pattern papers from the Super Celebration collection. I'm just laying the die on the papers to see how big of a piece of paper I need. I'm just really quickly cutting them out with scissors because we're going to die cut it anyway, so it doesn't really matter what this paper looks like at this point. Now I'm going to take both of these papers and I'm going to stamp them with the clear acrylic TV stamp. And I'm using the Hampton Art Stamp Perfect, which is great when you want to get a perfect impression with your stamps. So I put the magnets down, I put the stamp down, I close the door, I pick the stamp up, and then when the door is open, I use my ink and ink it up. Okay, so I'm going to be using some some VersaFine Black Onyx ink. I really like the deep, rich black that you get from this ink, and especially when I'm stamping on pattern paper the way that I'm doing here, I think it's important to get a really, really good color and impression. So I'm going to press down here, and then when I lift the door, you'll see if I didn't get a perfect impression, I could stamp it again, but I don't have to. It came out great. So I'm going to move the magnets and I'm going to set this aside to dry, and now I'm going to stamp the other piece of pattern paper. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. I'm going to put the magnets down. I already have the stamp on the door, so now I just need to ink it up, and I'm going to use that same VersaFine Black Onyx ink because, again, I'm printing or stamping on a really busy paper here, and so I really want it to show through the image of the stamp. So I'm going to press down all over because this is kind of a larger stamp, and again, I did get a great impression from the first time. That is unheard of for me anyway. I'm not that great at stamping. Okay, now that my stamp images are dry, I'm going to line up my dies and I'm going to look all around the TV and make sure everything in the image is inside the die. That's how I know I'm going to get a perfect even cut. Once I have it all lined up, so I do take some time to do that. Once I have it all lined up, I'm going to put some washi tape down. And for this one, I'm using the blue for the screen, so I can save that little TV for another project. So I'm going to do it again here on this pink-red paper, line everything up perfectly, and once I have all of the stamped image within the confines of the die, I'm going to use that same piece of washi tape and just run it through my Sizzix machine and cut it out. So now I have my TV and my screen. I also stamped the word super and die cut that with the die. I die cut the word star out of glitter fun foam, and I'm going to use that as well. So I'm trying to figure out exactly where the screen needs to be placed, and you'll see that even though I do this with the TV, I still kind of mess it up. I adhere it down, I'm just using some tape runner here, and then I put the screen right in the middle of the card. Well, you can't do that because the right-hand side of the TV is larger than the left, so it ends up being off kilter. So I move my screen over a little bit, and then I feel like it's perfect. And then once the TV is on there, it's going to look centered. So now that I have my screen adhered down, I'm going to put some stars, and that was like way too much. So I grabbed some back, and these are the Jewels and Sequins from Jillibean Soup. I have both the birthday and the watercolor that I'm going to use here. Once I have those in there, I'm going to take the square shaker, make sure I have it lined up in the right way, and then I peel off the backing paper and lay it right over the screen. Then I'm going to take my Thermoweb Memory Runner XL and I'm just going to adhere the TV right on top of that. And then you have this fun little shaker, and how quick and easy was that? So now I'm just going to take the little star letters here, and these are self-adhesive, this foam that I got. It's like this glitter foam. I think I got it at a big box store. Really pretty affordable and so much fun to die cut. So I'm going to line that up, and then I decided I want the super at the top of the card, but I do want it popped up. So I'm going to take some Thermoweb 3D Zots. The great thing about these is that they are clear, and if you have nonstick scissors, you can chop them down into little strips, which is what I did here. Then you just lay your die cut on top of the strip that you want, peel it back, and you have this great dimension without seeing any foam in the back. So this is pretty much where I want my card at this point, but then I do decide that it needs something else. So I die cut some tiny little stars with those little tiny star dies, and again I use that same glitter black foam with the self-adhesive backing. So now I'm just going to play with where I want them. This is super simple. This was really fun and fast to pull this card together, but it's got that great shaker element and lots of dimension. So much fun. And I think this card would be great for any congratulations on a test, on another big moment, on getting a new job. This is just a really fun card, and it's not super feminine or masculine, so it could be used really either way. So I'm finicky with the little stars and their placement. I'm just moving them around. The great thing about that adhesive foam is that you can move it around at first and then it does stick. So I'm putting some Memory Runner XL on the card base there, which is 4¼ by 5½. And then I'm putting some Memory Runner XL on the back of my shaker. Probably should have done that first because it's a little hard to do with the shaker. And then I'm laying it on top of some white fun foam. That's just going to pop this whole card front up and gives it lots of dimension. Again, lots of fun having the shaker inside. I love the little screen with the shaker stars and how all the stars really pull the card together. So a lot of these new Jillibean Soup products are shipping in March. I will link to them as soon as they are available, and I hope you'll check them out. Thanks so much for stopping by.